Put the earbud away. So now, for this one right here, I'm actually going over the multiple choice. So I'm going to show you all the work for each one of these problems. And then you guys are going to fill it in with the multiple choice answer. So this one right here, so it says sine of A. So now A is going to be my reference angle. A is the reference angle right here. And we know sine, some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid, right? So sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. I marked my reference angle here. A lot of people messed that up. When I was coming around looking, they were using this as the reference angle. So sine, opposite. What is opposite A?
24.
24. So I'm going to mark that. What is hypotenuse?
30.
Adjacent? There we go. So for this one right here, it's going to be sine.
O over H.
Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine of A.
30 over 24. Wait, 24 over 30.
24 over 30. And then I could reduce that. If you put it in your calculator, 24 over 30.
5 over 4 over 5.
4/5, right? B. So 4/5?
That's wrong.
Or is it 4?
It's
5.
4 over 5.
Yes, 4/5.
You're right.
4/5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, now this next one right here, it doesn't start with the triangle. It doesn't start with the triangle, so you have to actually make your own triangle for this.
Dude, I have weights after school and they're not ready to
Yeah.
Now, for this right here, like I said, you have to make your own triangle. So, when I do this, draw a generic triangle. It doesn't actually have to be like to scale for this. You just need to know what goes where. So in a triangle, I'm going to call this A, call this B, and the C is always going to be my right angle here. C is always going to be a right angle for any regular triangle. So for this one right here, we have little c here, little b here, and little a here. Hey, excuse me, you came in late, I need you working on this. Now, for this one right here, since I put everything where they go, little a is opposite big A, little b is opposite big B, little c is opposite big C. So now we have, when little b is 40, little c is 85, and it's finding cosecant of A. So A is going to be my reference angle no matter what.
75.
So that's the reference angle.
How do I know which one's A and which one's B and which one's C?
The one with the A on it.
But like you just drew it yourself, so.
That's what I was saying at the beginning.
Right. So the C is always going to be like.
right angle.
Yes, you just need any generic triangle that's a right, and the C is always your right angle. It would go this exact same way if you had A up here and B down here.
Oh, okay, okay.
Your ratio still works out no matter what.
Just easier.
Okay? So now, this next thing right here. So we have two sides of a right triangle, right? Say yes.
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 Now, is there a way to find the third side?
Yes.
Yes.
How so?
Pythagorean Theorem.
So I'm going to have A squared plus B squared.
Or you could just do 80.
Now, okay, I gave you guys the shortcut on this, right? I said, hey, A is equal to the square root of C squared minus B squared, right? Yes. Yeah, I got more right here. Anyone else need one? Anyone else? Everyone got them? Okay. Attention up here. Now, this is the shortcut formula. A is equal to the square root of C squared, which is 85, squared minus B, 40 squared. How's it going?
Hey, I'm trying to mix with you. Hey, I
Okay, so now that we're doing this, I need you guys to actually do this piece.
It's 85 squared is 7,225.
Take the square root of that. You can just put this whole thing in the calculator as is.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get 75, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's not funny.
So now, for this, we get a value for A to be 75. Now, let's go through, and A is my reference angle here, right? So this side over here would be opposite. This side is, and there we go. So now, cosecant is the reciprocal of what? Sine. This one's sine. This is sine. If you guys look at your reference sheet, remember the reference sheet, the unit circle I gave you guys. Look in the upper right-hand corner of that unit circle. It says 1 over y, isn't it? And isn't sine the y? So it's a reciprocal of sine. That's what that notation means. So it's a reciprocal of sine. So I know sine would be opposite over hypotenuse, right? So cosecant, so CSC of A would be equal to the hypotenuse over opposite, right?
Yeah, and that's 17 over.
And hypotenuse was 85
Yeah, 85
and
over
75 and
17 over
17 over 15.
15.
I thought it was 17 over 8. Which is a.
No.
So 17 over 15.
Wait.
What's up?
How'd you get 85?
That's the best thing I've ever seen.
Okay, what's your hypotenuse?
A little fish.
Yeah, it's a C. That one's 85 because that was given to me here. Right? Okay. All right, let's take a look at this next one then. Again, here's another one, but this one doesn't give you a triangle, does it? Hey, that guy. I'm trying not to say your name during the video. What do you want? I have it right here.
You didn't take row.
Yes, I did. You just came in late.
Oh.
Now, A, B, and C. So, with A, B, and C there, so a generic right triangle, C is always your right angle. A, so, where is little a going to end up? Between which ones?
B and D.
B and C. This is little a,
Why would that be little a?
because it's across from big A.
Is D, right?
Little b,
Oh.
little b is,
CA.
and this is going to be my little c, right?
Little
Now, let's take a look. So A, little a is 5, little b is 7,
and little c is X.
not yet. So now, to be able to do this, I need to find the third side. So, I'm going to use Pythagorean Theorem to find the third side of this, right? Yes.
Is it? Oh,
Is it what?
it's the radian 74.
Rad 74? I think so.
It is.
Oh, pick me. I got it right.
Okay, the shorter version of the Pythagorean Theorem, like just do your square root right away. So it's C equals square root of 25 plus 49 square root of 74. Yep.
Oh yes,
So C is going to be rad 74.
I love that.
Now, what is my reference angle here?
B.
B is the reference angle. So B is where I'm actually going to start this off at. So from B, so from B right here, this side over here is
Opposite.
opposite. Thank you. There's opposite. This side over here is? This one is? Adjacent. There we go. That's what I needed now. Now, secant is the reciprocal of cosine.
Oh, it's
R
over
over
A.
X.
So it's a reciprocal of cosine. If cosine, okay, remember cosine, some old hippie caught another hippie, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's going to be adjacent. So this is my B. Adjacent over hypotenuse. So now the reciprocal of that, which is my secant,
It's H over A.
Mister, why do we switch back to A over H instead of Y over X?
now x and y's only work on a coordinate grid.
No,
If
I
you
like
have-
that A's and H's way better than the X and
Yeah,
Y's
it's
and
so much
Y's.
easier to remember.
That I never remember.
Okay, so now on a coordinate grid, you have to know that. So we're going to be doing a lot of this on coordinates. So you have the Cartesian graph, you know, the x coordinate and the y coordinate. That's where we get our x's and y's. That's going to be applicable in so many ways later on. Yes?
Do you have like a little phrase for that one?
No.
No, you don't. You should make one.
Oh, I want lotion.
Lotion. Sanitizer.
Why?
So for this one,
So many people have touched
excuse me.
Thanks.
Now for this right here, we have hypotenuse over adjacent. My hypotenuse is going to be rad 74, and the adjacent is 5.
Yes.
Okay, please tell me you're not putting on lotion.
Me?
I'm black and I get ash cream.
I have lotion, but the
It's
perfumes
right
really
here.
get me.
That's the lotion I'm putting on.
This is the
No,
one-
he got it
No.
some other one.
Oh, I see.
Guys,
The other lotion screws over.
why would you do that to him? That's his only request in this class.
Yeah, and they got
just
offended.
effed it up. Here you go, Dad.
Yeah.
I can smell the one I'm using.
Yeah, that smells so bad.
It smells like medicine.
I can smell it.
Out.
Holy sh- practicing immediate headache. Padre, what happens about the lotion again? The scent.
Yeah, sometimes I,
Your throat will close up.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That's like the one thing he asked you not to do.
He's a pretty lenient guy. One thing you guys just had to screw up.
Alright, guys. It says write the function in terms of its cofunction. Now, what is the cofunction of secant?
Cosecant.
Cosecant.
Cosecant. So, the cofunctions always add up to what? 90. So this is going to be the secant of 41.5 degrees is equal to the cosecant
Of 90 degrees.
minus
Theta.
So I need you guys to do that math real quick.
Equal 48.5.
So you gotta have the whole answer. What's the whole answer? What is it?
Oh, wait.
How do I write this answer?
Cosecant.
Cosecant CSC of
Oh, wait, what?
Put the little
You
second.
just solved it.
Oh, you just put it in the calculator?
no, you don't put it in the calculator. That's
What?
just
You
it.
don't? Oh, you just do that?
Yeah, that's all you had to
Oh,
do.
I thought you had to put this in the calculator.
If you look at your multiple choice for this is number this is number 4. Look at number 4, please. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
That's small.
All right, now, the next question here. Find a solution for this equation. If they're cofunctions, together they both do what? I heard it. Equal how much? 90. Both of them together add up to?
90.
So class, both cofunctions together add up to?
90.
Okay, so I know that phone is quite interesting right now, but I'm hoping that I'm a little bit more. Not you this time. This time. This time. I need something to stop me from coughing right now. So, they both add up to 90. So together, thing 1 and thing 2 add up to 90. So how many thetas do we have there?
2.
Two theta plus 32 equals 90 minus 32. 2 theta is how much?
29.
Divide both sides by?
2.
Theta is?
29 degrees.
Where?
The next one is after the base my son. Yeah, it just
All right, let's take a look at the next one.
Mrs. So can you drink water now?
Sure.
Thank you.
Now, on this question right here, decide whether the statement is true or false.
That was yes.
velocity.
Oh, it's false.
You just have to plug it in the calculator.
Yeah, you told
See,
them.
how do you put this in the calculator?
Can you get that sign again?
Remember how
Can
we
you
did
show
it?
me?
So tangent,
You're supposed to do it, so take it.
35
Nope.
degrees. And just press it in. And then you have to do the same as other. Tangent. 7.
Tangent. Now, what's the number one thing I always tell you, but no one remembers?
No, it's not true.
Different.
What did you say?
What's the number one thing I say it all the time, but no one remembers?
Class. Yeah.
I
Less
don't
than
know.
10, 8.
Triangle.
Oh, you can.
Oh, you can just do it that way.
Okay, because I didn't see a single person testing this when they came in.
Oh my god, that is so cool.
Did everyone check to make sure that their calculator's in degrees?
Yeah.
No, mine is not. How do you change it?
I changed mine to 3.
It's
Yeah, that's false.
Wait,
What
how
did
do
you
you
say?
put the whole thing in?
Oh, that symbol. You press Control equals.
Oh, yeah.
You can just plug this one in the calculator.
All right, so this next question right here, is this too much or not enough?
Wait, hold on. I'm not there.
It's not enough.
Not enough.
It's a negative number, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my number has to be between 0 and 360, right? So it's a negative number, so I need to start adding, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you keep adding 360 over and over again. So negative 220 and 25.
Do it 5 times.
It's 135.
So I have negative 2025 plus 360. Still not enough, right? Plus 360 again. Not enough.
Yes.
You know there's an easy way, Mr. Quattro?
I know there is, but this is the most basic way for each person to keep doing this and not get it wrong. Do you ever actually do things the hard way because that's the way you know it best?
Yes.
Okay.
I find it easier.
And so, if you guys understand, you know, there is a process, you can do it every single time. So 135, I gave you guys the unit circle, right? I gave you unit circle.
Yes.
So, it's actually asking for the secant of 135. Secant is the reciprocal of what? Cosine. So what is cosine at 135?
You got 130?
Rad, negative rad 2 over 2.
Right?
Wait, what about the other?
Cosine's the x value, right? Cosine's the x value. Now, I'm looking for the secant, and I know the secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So I'm going to take the cosine and flip it over.
It would be negative rad 2, right?
So it's going to be negative 2 over rad 2, right?
You gotta multiply rad 2 by rad 2.
Okay, I have to rationalize, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Negative 2 rad 2 over 2.
But what happens to those 2's? Cancel out, so I'm going to be left with
Negative rad 2. Radical B.
just negative rad 2, that's it. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with this. Now, from your unit circle, okay, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, right? It's reciprocal of sine. It is the reciprocal of sine. So sine of 330 is...
Isn't it
It's
2 rad 3 over 3?
Rad
Just
two
sine.
over 2.
Was it?
3 over 2.
Is it positive or negative?
Yeah, negative. It is.
It is negative. I know it's in the fourth quadrant. It's negative.
What?
It doesn't show
On
a
here?
negative extra.
The x is, the x is positive.
Oh, 330.
That's what messed up.
Yeah.
Hey, it's negative 1/2, not this.
So
Wait, how
cosine
do you
is
know
an
which
x.
one? Oh, never
Look in
mind.
the upper right-hand corner.
I just did. Sorry.
Negative 1/2, right? And cosecant 330 is the reciprocal of that number. So I take that number and flip it over. So what am I going to come up with? Negative 2.
How do you know if it's how do you know if we use the x or y for the
Okay, did you look at the upper right-hand corner, please, of your unit circle I gave you? What does it say for cosecant?
1 over y?
1 over y, so that's using the y value, right? And it's always in alphabetical order. It's always in alphabetical order, so it goes x then y.
What about tangents?
tangent is y over x. So you take whatever y value you have and divide it by the x value. So let's say tangent at 45. The y value is rad 2 over 2. The x value is rad 2 over 2. And you divide those. If you have the same thing on top and bottom, what do you get? Just 1. Same thing on top and bottom, we'll get 1.
Are we going to use this in the test?
Yes, I'll let you use it on test. Now, this one right here, you can put in the calculator. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. What? Tissue, fine. Alright, so now on this one right here, you can put in the calculator to get your answer. On all of them, you're going to get your answer. 3 tangent 60 degrees. Square goes on the outside. You'll get a syntax error if you try to put it anywhere else. Square goes on the outside. Plus 3 sine of 30 degrees square minus cosine of 360 degrees square.
8.75.
Now you're going to get a decimal out of this.
Yeah, I was confused.
You're going to get a decimal out of this, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. Okay, here's the possible answers here. Okay. Now on this one right here, so what did you say that we got as a decimal?
8.75.
So I'm going to put in my calculator 35 divided by 4, control, and enter.
6.75.
Wait, let's do it.
Yep.
And so that gives me an approximation for this. So you say that A is going to be 8.75?
Yeah.
All right, do I have to do all the rest then?
Yes.
Okay, do the rest if you want to then. So the same thing on this, you would put 43 divided by 4, control enter. That'll give you a decimal for that. What's that? 10.75. This is going to be a negative 10.75. And this is going to be a...
7.25.
There we go. So that's all you have to do to actually get this. The calculator will do it all for you. All right, so on this one right here, make sure you actually put it in the calculator correctly. It will tell you true or false here.
Oh, okay, I see.
It will tell you true or false. So when you're doing it, you have to make sure you put it in correctly. So it's cosine 180 degrees plus 30 degrees equals cosine 180 degrees close times cosine 30 degrees, close it again, minus sine 180 close times sine of 30 degrees, close. every time I'm actually watching someone do this, they're not closing the parentheses. And I also watch a lot of people that say, oh, I got this, I'm doing it in my head, but then when it comes time to actually do it on the test, they have no clue how to do it on the test.
True. I got true.
You're almost there, right? Did you plug it in? No, it's false that you plugged it in.
Wait, it's actually false?
No, he said he did plug it in. I'm saying that statement is false.
Oh. I'm tired of this.
This is good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty true though. They're all lies and false
Not soon enough.
What if this class never finishes?
Oh, 05. I'm trying to get done with as much as I can now.
Wait, it's still on 5, it's not longer?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
We do school 2:50.
I thought it was, I'm so confused, why did they change it last time?
I know he's.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'll give you Beyonce tickets.
Last year, what, didn't we do school at 3:05, but now this year?
It's true.
All right, now this is going to be the last one before we finish this up for today. So now this one right here says find out values of theta if theta is the interval from 0 to 360. Now it starts off with secant, right?
Yeah.
I can't work with secant. Secant's not on my unit circle, right? So I need to fix that. So I know that this is over 1, isn't it? Okay, secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So in this case, cosine of theta would equal 1 over, so it's a negative 1 over rad 2, right? Rationalize. Negative rad 2 over 2. Now, negative rad 2. So now on my unit circle, where's the cosine negative at?
Negative is right here.
It's the second and the third, not the fourth.
The fourth is positive negative.
The x value will be positive in quadrant 4, right? So now, what are the values for this one? So in quadrant 2, it should be 135. And in quadrant 3, it should be 225. Yes?
Wait, what?
Are you looking at your unit circle?
Yeah, I
Next slide. Next slide. This right here.
This one?
135.
Wait,
All right. Like and subscribe. All of the good junk.